Good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. I realized, oops, there's my alarm. Good morning, good morning. Okay. It is a beautiful February morning here in Texas. Yes, we still have our Christmas tree up. Okay. Actually, we haven't finished putting it away. But we are here this morning to talk about who we are and why we're here. And I have so much light behind me. I'm going to turn the camera and aim in that direction. There we are. Good morning. Hi. Guess what? You are an immortal being in a body, also known as a godling, a star seed, a Christian, maybe, Buddhist, whatever enlightenment traditions or knowledge, or a scientist, or an atheist, or a manicurist, or a nutritionist, or a yogaist, whatever you believe, a naturalist, whatever you believe, it doesn't matter. You're still from the same place everybody came from and everything came from, and you will return. The question is not if. The question only is how long? And do you know the rules of heaven? Do you know how to get in? What are the rules? And what is the purpose of your life? Why are you here in this physical, temporal realm? So, we're going to discuss some of that today and just have a few moments to talk to our creators, source, heaven, home, whatever you want to call it. They don't care. They don't speak English. Fun fact. Um, so I have the unique and amazing experience of walking one day after 49 years of being lost and confused on this planet and not knowing who I was or why I was here. Walking out of the bathroom and seeing myself, not my physical body, but my energy body, my light body. I could see my energy body. I was no longer, I could feel my physical body, but when I looked at myself, I was just this glowing being of light. Light was shooting a foot off the ends of my hands. And I tried to look down at my body, but there was so much light radiating off me. And I was like, Holy Mother, goodness gracious. I swore a lot. I'm trying to reduce that. Stop swearing so much. And I was like, what the F? I'm a light being in a body. Nobody told me. Maybe. I wasn't sure. I only knew that I was what I was. And I looked over to see what I looked like in the mirror on the wall. And the wall was all light. This experience lasted for me for about 15 minutes. I had gotten up to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night, 4:00 in the morning, and I was walking back, and I was suddenly no longer my body. I was just a glowing being of light. And I knew that was the real me. That was the eternal peace. And so I set off on an expedition to know who I was and why I was here. Why was I a light being in a body? And so I I learned, I began meditating and talking to beings who also weren't necessarily in bodies. My guides, Jesus, heaven, source, home, the quantum, and getting answers. And for 3 years, I sat going, why? But why? But why? But how? But how? But wait, explain that again. How? And asking over and over and being shown and taught and learning over and over for over 3 years. 5, 6, 8 hours a day, meditating, talking to God, source, home, whatever it makes you happy to call it. They don't speak English, so, they're just like, it's called home, call home. Yeah, daddy, yeah, father, pick a name. They don't care. Just call home once in a while. Yeah. You came from there and, they miss you. Haven't heard from you in a long minute. So we are all godlings from heaven, and we are here to learn who we are and how we return. We are here to learn who we are and how we return. It's not meant to be a big secret. It just seems like every time someone comes and teaches it, the planet, the people in charge, those that are invested in wealth and greed and the lying and stealing and wielding power over others, takes the knowledge and the truth and changes it because it doesn't serve them. It doesn't serve their means to an end. And many of them didn't believe. And some of them may not like my God or explanation of heaven because there were beings that didn't believe there ever was such a thing, that there ever was any consequences for their actions. They didn't see it in their life. They didn't see how what they did ever came back on them, that they could lie and steal and do whatever they wanted and not have any repercussions. They didn't know there was a heaven because it wasn't obvious. They didn't see bad things happen to them, even though they did bad things to others. They hello. Thank you for joining my live stream. So if you have any questions, put them in the chat. And so we are here to learn who we are, how we return, what are the treasures of heaven that we want to store up while we're here. And I know I'm silly, okay? My hat's on crooked and I'm not, you know, um, the most organized and clean and logical and perfect. I am not the most perfect child on the planet. In fact, God will give you this like, nope, she did this wrong and but wrong comes down to equations and logic and math and science. And that is why I have a God that is actually includes everyone and everything, because even this phone, everything that was in the Big Bang goes back. Okay. I have learned the 7 sacred stories that happened before the Big Bang. that explain God and Jesus and the whole universe mathematically, scientifically, and logically. How I spent hours going, why? But why? But why? Like an annoying child in the back seat. God's like, wait a minute, how do we get rid of her? Ah, shit, she found her way into heaven. Good job. Okay, now go back and teach everyone. And I'm like, what? He's like, well, nobody else has the truth, so why don't you go try teaching it? And I'm like, oh, is this how you get assignments from heaven and God? And God's like, yeah. You talk to God, you get answers, and then you told, yeah, go teach everyone else. And you're like, oh, okay. Yay. So I am back launching for the first time classes and courses that will teach heaven in depth. What heaven is, what are the real rules for returning, who we are, why we are here, not just based on some spirituality, not based on some 2,000-year-old book, but literally math, science, logic, the laws of the universe, the laws of energy and motion, the laws of karma, because karma to God is actually a definition of all the laws of energy and motion as applied to a light energy being over many lifetimes and timelines. So the idea of karma as you did bad, so now you have bad, and you did good, so now you get good, or Christianity, I can just live my best life, or I can be good and follow Christ, and then I go back to heaven. Buddha's path is actually pretty guaranteed. If you reach the path of enlightenment, okay, if you understand the laws of heaven, there are two laws in heaven: love and evolve, okay? And heaven is not just about being perfect. Everyone is perfect. Everyone has to be. You have to be perfect to get in. What does perfect mean? It doesn't just mean following some list of rules most of the time. Okay. There's an actual definition. And the definition of perfection is to be love or above in every vibration of your being, thought, emotion, etc., every moment. Why? Because heaven is an energy realm, a liquid reality where everything manifests instantly. Okay? So everything manifests instantly. And everything manifests instantly. If you think food, that food is right there. If you think, do I want spaghetti? Now you have a bowl of spaghetti. And you're like, well, wait, do I want meatloaf? Now there's a bowl of meatloaf. And you think, well, and now you have like 10 bowls of food and you still don't know what you want to eat. If you think of someone, you are instantly talking to them and have your answer. If you think of a place, you are instantly there. It happens the minute you think it. So you don't have time to think about what you're going to think about. You have to already be a trained mind who only thinks vibrationally in every part of your being, in love or above every moment, no matter what. Those are the requirements for heaven. Okay, so go home. Everybody go home now. No, see, that's just the beginning. understanding what the requirements are is step one. Realizing everything that came in the Big Bang came from source. Okay. The stories I tell are what happened before the Big Bang. And at the moment of time is actually in several billion years. So it's not something we on this planet need to start worrying about. Okay. But just be aware that there's going to be a big crunch, a big return. When the program is over, everything will solve, resolve, and dissolve and return to heaven. And all of the children and the God consciousness that was being grown in the temporary, mortal, physical realm, all of us goes home. Every atom returns. So when you begin to understand home and source as a liquid energy, a liquid reality where everything manifests instantly, you begin to understand the paths to return. You have the Buddha, the path of enlightenment. You have the Christed path. Okay. And there is a reason why it says nobody gets into heaven without me in the Christed path. Okay. Because what Christ did gave his Father, his God, his Creator, his God self, the rights to solve, resolve, and dissolve all karmic equations for every being ever born in this realm on the planet Earth that we call Earth, Gaia, the goddess Gaia, the Garden of Eden. There are better names. And so for our planet, our mother, and to understand that it's not if you return. The question really becomes, how long is it going to take you and what are you going to return as? Because at the end of time, at the end of the universe, at the end of the program, at the playground to grow God consciousness, everything returns. Are you going to go back as your own evolved God, independent, fully developed, ready to live in heaven? Or are you going to go back as an unevolved child who still has to be supervised, who basically goes back to the God that created them? Okay. All of the framework, all of the matter goes back to the God that donated that matter to the program. It's all part of the framework. Everything that became stars and became matter, the solid part of this ride, all of this God consciousness returns to every single atom is accounted for. So you're going back. The question is, are you going to evolve into love and into a God that can live as their own God in a liquid reality? Or are you not going to graduate and you return back as a child that has to be supervised and return back to the God, your Father that created you? So that's part of what we're here to discuss. And we're also here to discuss, are you going to, how fast are you going to return? What awards and treasures of heaven? Who you are and what was the purpose of your life, and are you going to fulfill it? and live a life of love and certainty and purpose and creation, a life of abundance and joy and peace in your heart, knowing you are on purpose and living your best life and the life that you were created for. And so we're going to talk about how you know, how you know. And that comes into understanding more about the karmic cycles. So after the Big Bang, okay, this is a program, a universe, a holographic universe, okay, 99% of all atoms are air. It's not as solid as we believe it to be. And every life is created on purpose to help move a consciousness forward in their karmic cycles. Okay. I know we humans think if you're, karma, if you're good, then you have a better life. And if you're bad, then you have a worse life. And that's not. The karmic cycles were developed like you have primary school and secondary school and your elevated, more advanced schools. And so the framework all enters at the moment of the Big Bang. All the atoms that are going to be part of the framework side of the ride enters, and that second. As the void is created, all of the matter enters. As the program develops and expands, and there are more planets that the gods can then put pieces of themselves in. Okay, they take little vessels, you and me, and they put little pieces of God consciousness in them. And they can develop them on a path. Like in America, we say kindergarten, first grade, second grade, third grade. And this is how the gods actually see more of the karmic progressions. How much have you learned? How developed are you that you're going to be a being that chooses love, that chooses to see the God in each other, even though you look different on the outside? One of the challenges of living in the physical is you have four people, and this one's Asian, and this one's Indian, and this one's white, and this one's black. And they're like, well, you're not God. Well, you're not God. Well, you're not God. Well, you're not God. And God's sitting back here going, look at all my little selves. I'm so funny. Okay, we think we're so advanced, but really we're all like 2 cups of God consciousness, and God is like a million gallons. Okay. And so you actually grow a God that can live in a real liquid reality through many, many lives and many, many, many experiences, literally across several planets. Okay. There's no God in heaven that comes and lives one life and then goes back and is their own full-fledged God. Okay. It doesn't happen. It literally takes many lives across several planets. Now, here's the really good, exciting, wonderful news. Okay. Earth is like a high school, junior high, more advanced. Everybody here has been on at least 1 or 2 other planets. Okay. It is a graduation point, Earth is. And it's a point where a lot of souls are actually more advanced than we know ourselves to be. We've forgotten the truths about living many lives or many cycles. Okay. Christ actually taught many lives and the concept of reincarnation. Okay. Resurrection is dying and picking your body back up. And that is one level of awareness. Jesus was a master, doctorate, college level in his knowledge and understanding of the universe. And that this was just a physical avatar, and he understood how to lay it down and pick it back up. However, you don't have to be as evolved as Jesus, okay? You can be high school level, and you don't have to die and pick your body back up to prove that you know how to live in heaven. But you do have to be love or above in every vibration. And you do have to learn the laws of evolving and choosing to do better. You know, we use terms in the Christian religions like forgiveness and repentance. And what it really means is to learn, to understand, and to choose to do better. And to forgive, be forgiveness to yourself and to others for the mistakes that you make. And choose to do better. Okay? It's all about learning and choice. Heaven is not about force. It's not about making people. It's about people that want to be love or above, because that's their truth of their heart. It's about people who want to live in love and perfection and joy and abundance and sharing all the wealth. Now, you are a fractal of God, created for a reason. And the reason is known and can be known. Why you're here, the purpose of your life. So I am teaching an 8-week course. Okay. It starts in March. Okay. There are early bird discounts and specials for people that book a call before February the 14th. So the link will be in the thing below, to our website, where you can book a clarity call, an informational call. Get your questions answered. Okay. The course is not free. It requires an investment of time and money. You have got to be willing and desiring to know who you truly are, not just from some religious dogma, but literally math and science, a God that is loving, fun, perfect, that has real mathematical, logical, scientific definitions. Okay, a Christ that is true and illogical, mathematical, and not based on 2,000-year-old dogma that contradicts itself. To know who you truly are and why you're here, and create your best life of love, joy, abundance, certainty, living on purpose, talking to those that created you, really connected to your purpose, your reason, to know with a certainty that you are right, that you know the truth, that you know who you are, why you're here, to be in love, to love yourself and know the perfection that you are, and the perfection. This is the backyard of heaven. This is where we come and live in time and space. And every one of us was created for a reason. To know the purpose, to live your purpose, and know the truth of your heart and yourself. And so if you're interested, please check out my links below. Go to our website, createheavenonearth.quest. Because how do we create heaven on earth? Each one of us lives our most beautiful, abundant life of joy and love and abundance and service, living the real reason and purpose for our creation, and knowing the truth of who we are, that we're all from heaven and we all return. and that we can live a life of beauty, peace, love, certainty, truth, knowing who we are and why we're here. My brothers and sisters, you are from heaven. You're a starseed, an immortal being in a shell of stardust, blown out of the hearts of dying stars millions of years ago. You are a 7 million-year-old monkey out of the pond. And you are an immortal light being from heaven. 2 cups of God consciousness, created for a purpose, to live your most beautiful life of love, joy, abundance, certainty, peace, balance, and joy. So if that's interesting to you, book a clarity call, come join my live streams all month, and make time to transform your life. I love you all. Hugs and kisses from heaven. God loves all of us, okay? And there is a plan. Everything returns. It's just how long it takes you and what you return as. I will see you again tomorrow, my brothers and sisters. Have a beautiful day dancing on this magical planet.